Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeff T. Decker, and I am the Manager of Communications and Media with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency. Today, we will provide an update on the current wildfire situation in the province that has been affecting communities. Please feel free to record, cut clips, and quote today's call as needed. We are also recording the call, and it will be available later on the SPSA YouTube channel and Facebook page. Joining us on the call this morning is Brian Chartrand, Executive Director of Land Operations with the SPSA, who will provide an update on the provincial wildfire situation. We also have Joan Herchick, Director, Emergency and Community Support, who will be available to answer any questions regarding our Emergency Community Support Program. Please be advised that we will take our last question at 11:30. I would like to start with a news release that has gone out at 11 a.m. that the provincial fire ban, including ATVs and UTVs, has been lifted as of 11 a.m. today due to improved conditions. The fire ban prohibited any open fires, controlled burns, and fireworks in the district, including but not limited to resort subdivisions, northern settlements, titled and leased properties where the fire ban area is included. It also included all Crown land, provincial parks, and recreational sites. Speaking to that, we still need to be cognizant of paying attention for fires in the wild. So if you spot a wildfire, please call 1-800-667-9660 or dial 911 or contact the closest SPSA Forest Protection Office. An interactive map of fire bans, frequently asked questions, risk maps, and fire prevention tips can be found on the SPSA website. I will now turn the briefing over to Brian for his remarks.
Good morning. My name is Brian Chartrand. I'm the Executive Director of Land Operations, and thank you, Jeff. Provincially, we're looking at 11 fires within the province right now. So we have 3 that are not contained, 5 that are contained, 2 that are still ongoing assessment, and 1 protecting property or values. The 2, well, out of the 3, that there's the 2 larger fires that we've been discussing over the last few days, the Lobstick and the Cayford. But we did have a new start late yesterday up north. It's between Pelican Narrows and South End, so it's almost right in the middle of those two communities. So no impact to them. It's still small. We are putting resources on it. Estimated 75 to 80 kilometers away from either one of those communities, so no concerns on that one. So we'll engage that. But going down to the Lobstick fire, so minimal growth since Sunday, and crews are continuing to mop that one up now. We did receive rain yesterday evening and throughout the night. Looks like our measurements are about 13 mils on that fire, the Lobstick fire. So again, concentration will be hitting the hotspots that were identified. We did have it scanned overnight, so there are still some hotspots in the north end by the Culligan Lake area. So we do have dozers and crews going to work in that area, as well as a few throughout the perimeter on the east side and south side. So again, crews have been dispatched to those areas to take care of those concerns. We do have favorable conditions over the next few days with chances of some more showers, cooler temperatures, cloudy, things like that nature. So very optimistic that we are not going to be challenged with this fire. As well, and because of the improved conditions, the evacuation notice has been rescinded, so people are expected to be returning home as well. And the fire is still at that 19,000 hectare size. Moving over to the Crayford fire, again, very little activity on that fire. It didn't receive as much precipitation, but again, cooler temps and a little drizzle on that fire did calm it down. It's still sitting at 13,000 hectares. We do have a dozer on the north side of that fire, of the Crayford fire, to make sure that it doesn't jeopardize the road to the north, which is approximately 2 kilometers to the north of that Crayford fire, as well as crews and air support on the west side that are protecting numerous cabins, and also engaging the fire line as well. That one was scanned as well. Still quite a few hot spots on it. Crews will work on it. It hasn't received the rain that we've seen here in the Prince Albert area, but there are some chances of showers which will help. But again, very minimal growth on that fire. What else can I say here? Yeah, I think that kind of quickly sums it up. I guess I can open up to questions if there's any, or I'll hand it back to Jeff.
Nice. Thank you very much for that update, Brian. I would like to remind everyone when it comes to keeping up to date on information, please download the Sask Alert app, follow the SPSA on Facebook, and monitor our website situation report in the top yellow bar on every page of our website. Now we will open it up to questions from the media. Please use the raised hand function to indicate that you have a question. You will be recognized when it is your turn. Media members are asked to turn on their microphones and cameras when asking their question. Also, please identify yourself and the media outlet that you are representing. When recognized, media members can ask one question with a follow-up. When you are done, please turn off your camera and mute your mic. If there are additional questions after today's briefing, please send them to the SPSA media inbox, which is media.spsa@gov.sk.ca. This is the SPSA's main contact for all media. If there are any questions for the SPSA after today, that's the account they should be sent to. So let us begin with our questions. First is Christopher.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Chris Van Breekel with Global News. Brian, can you tell us about the evacuation situation with the Crayford fire? We understand that Red Earth Cree Nation members are going home. Is it the same for Shoal Lake, or are we still facing an evacuation for Shoal Lake members?
Yes, no, everybody from Red Earth and Shoal Lake are returning home.
Perfect. And this fire that is between Pelican and South End, what is the size of this fire and what are conditions like in that area?
Currently, it's still small. It was reported at 1 hectare in size. And again, better conditions than we experienced over the weekend. Cooler, not so much precip, but again, kind of cloudy, and I guess the fuel loading it isn't as favorable for the fire as well. So again, we have crews going out there. It's quite remote. So, but again, no challenges on that fire anticipated.
Thank you, Christopher. We'll now move on to Jeremy.
Hello, Jeremy Symes here with the Canadian Press. Just on the fire ban, can you explain why it's been lifted?
The fire ban, we received a fair amount of rain throughout the area, and it just improved the conditions that we were experiencing here. That's all that we're really missing was a good rainfall. Obviously, it varies the amounts here and there, but it looks like it was quite widespread. There were significant amounts in certain areas and a little bit less in others. But again, we feel confident that it's dropped our indices enough that fire ban is no longer required.
For sure. And then I was hoping you could expand a bit on the First Nations being able to return. It's my understanding the fire is no longer a threat to those communities. Do you mind just expanding a bit on that and why it's no longer a threat there?
Yeah, and I guess I'll just add to that question. So the fire was never a threat to the community itself. The only thing that was impacting the community was the access to the community. So that's why they left. But again, we have dozer lines established on the north side. We have crews that are hotspotting that area. We have it scanned. There are some hotspots, but we're hoping to have those dealt with. A majority of the hotspots are on the west side, so further away from the highway. But with the current weather expected, with the chance of showers, the cooler temps, and wind direction, all of those, we're feeling quite confident, and we're adding additional resources to that fire. So we don't foresee it, progressing towards the communities or even the roadway, which is why they're going home.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Jeremy. We do have a question in the chat from Yasmina of Radio Canada. Do we know when members from the Shoal Lake area will return home?
Hi, Joan Hretzik I am the Director of Emergency and Community Support. We do know that those who drove out of the community were allowed to start driving home last night. And there are buses at the hotels as of 11 o'clock this morning and for Shoal Lake at 1 o'clock this afternoon, who will be transporting the community members home.
Thank you, Joan. We'll now move on to Jillian.
Hi, Jillian Massey with 980 CJME. I was just wondering if you could maybe tell me how the firefighters are feeling at this point.
I can only assume relief. They've been working hard on these things, trying to get them contained. We know there's a lot of wildfires affect a lot of people, and especially in the Lobstick area. It's quite populated, so a lot of homes and values at risk. So this rain is very much appreciated, and yes, it's a very sign of relief. So we're all happy about it.
Thank you. I have no follow-ups.
Thank you, Jillian. We'll now go to Tina. Tina, are you there? I see you there with your hand up, but we can't hear you. Oh, there you are, Tina.
Good. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So Tina from PA now. I was just wondering if you guys can put a dollar amount on firefighting efforts in Saskatchewan so far this season.
Very good question. We haven't ran the numbers. We just kind of got into the season, especially once these larger fires took a run over the weekend. It takes a while to get all of our invoices in. We do have contractors hired and whatnot, so it takes some time to get their invoices to us. So again, our numbers wouldn't be very accurate if I were to have any on me right now today, because we do know there's outstanding payments that are still coming in, but. So I don't have an exact number to give you, sorry.
That's okay. Would you like estimate over $1 million or a couple 100,000 type thing? Just to.
So yeah, in speaking to these two fires, again, my numbers could be way off, but we're looking at 2-3 million for Lobstick and Kayford is probably around that 1.5 to 2 million at this point. So
Okay, I'll make sure that I don't put an exact number on it, but at least people can know that it's definitely in the millions, just so they can get an idea of how significant it is. My second question is the federal help that we've got in the form of the heavy helicopter and the other plane. Are they sticking around, or how does that work? Do they fly back home now?
Yeah, so the heavy helicopter was brought in case we needed it. We haven't actually assigned it, so it was kind of here on standby. We do have the Q400 that we we added to our fleet. We'll have to reassess whether or not we need that or not. Now that we got the precip, we don't like to release things until we actually see the moisture hit the ground. So we'll reassess on whether or not we're going to keep that just a bit longer. But until there's a need for it, I don't want to speak for CFC, who manages these aircraft, but I'd imagine they will move it to the next area that has higher fire danger than us at this point in terms of possibly assisting them if they need it. Otherwise, there's accommodations and additional expenditures that are being spent keeping them here, so they probably want to go home to avoid paying those things. So
Okay, thank you so much.
So we've now gone through with our original line of questioning. I'm going to open the call to follow-ups. And so we're going to go to Christopher.
Thanks, Jeff. Chris Van Brinkle, Global News. Brian, can you speak to the outlook for the rest of the season? We heard in the National Wildfire Outlook that there's concern about the month of July and what the long-term weather forecasts are showing for that in terms of wildfire activity across the prairies. What do the SPSA's models show, and what are kind of the areas of the province that are areas of concern?
yeah, so it looks like things are going to be warming up and drying out for the majority of the province. Not so much for the south. The south is supposed to remain a little bit wetter, but still going to be above temperatures. But for the north in the forested area, it looks like it's going to be hot and dry. So which is a concern for us, which means more wildfires and also aggressive wildfires. So we'll be monitoring and looking at our forecast quite regularly, which we always do anyway. But that's definitely on our radar, and we'll have to assess and make sure our resources are available as conditions continually change. But again, weather is a challenge to forecast accurately. So hopefully there's a little bit more moisture than what's predicted. Again, we'll have to sit and see what Mother Nature brings for us, and make sure that we're prepared to get on these fires aggressively and keep them small.
With that long-term forecast in mind, is there any consideration for placing in a preemptive fire ban or ATV ban as those forecasted conditions near, as opposed to when they're already happening?
That's always an option and a tool that we have to use. And again, yes, we'll continue to monitor and see what the trends are, what types of fires we're receiving, whether they're human caused or if they're more lightning caused, which is a majority of what we experience in the north. But yeah, definitely an option for sure.
And now, with Christopher completed, we're going to go to Yasmina.
Yeah, I was just wondering if someone can answer my question in French. Just a following up question about the firefighters. Do you know how many persons are fighting the fire right now for the Lobstick and the K-Ford fire?
See, Brian, before you answer that question, I will just mention that currently we do not have a official on the call that is proficient to answer in French.
Okay, so you can answer in English, fine.
Okay. Brian, if you could take that, please.
Yes, good question. So currently right now, we have 92 resources assigned to the Lobstick, and we have 25 resources assigned to the K-Ford at this moment.
Thank you. I don't have any follow-up questions.
Thank you. Tina, I see your hand is still up. Do you have another question?
I didn't, but actually maybe I do. What does resources mean? Is that just personnel? Thank you.
Good question. So that includes everything that we have assigned to the fire. So there's personnel in it, heavy equipment, dozers, helicopters, things like that. So it can be broken down into different groups.
All right, I'll provide one last opportunity for another follow-up question before we call it into our date today. Yasmina, are you still? I see your hand is up. Are you done? No, okay.
No,
Christopher?
sorry, it was just a mistake.
No, that's fine. Christopher?
Yes, thank you. So Chris Vanderbeek, Global News. Brian, going back to talking about preemptive fire bans being a potential, you talked about waiting to see what kinds of fires are being started, but wouldn't could you explain why you wouldn't wait do this before fires start, before we're seeing more fires start up in the province?
Yeah, so definitely. So a fire ban, it doesn't matter, I guess, what type of fires are happening when we are seeing, you know, multiple starts, regardless human cause or lightning. If we're getting overwhelmed and our resources are getting stretched thin, obviously we have our mutual aid partners, and we go through CFC and get resources from other provinces. And as we seen last year, we got resources from other countries internationally as well. So once our resources are getting that thin, we would put a fire ban on. Well, actually, we would look at putting it on, like you mentioned, preemptively prior to that, if the weather conditions and forecasts are looking that way. But when it comes to fire bans and or ATV, UTV restrictions, we gotta look at that as well. So if we're only getting a lot of starts because we got, you know, a dry lightning system went through, and it's not actually caused by humans, we don't want to start putting on too many restrictions too quickly, because that affects lots of business and commercial industry and things like that. So we really have to assess the situation and make sure the conditions meet that certain criteria prior. But if there's a lot of people that are out camping and we know there's a lot of things happening and we feel that there's a safety concern for the general public, then we can definitely look at types of restrictions on, just have people out of the forest, so that we can conduct our operations without, you know, having to go and rescue people that are out there. So yeah, there's a lot of scenarios and a lot of things that we got to look at and prior to implementing fire bans and restrictions and ATV restrictions and things like that.
Yeah, I was hoping you could speak to, because you kind of referred to this, the commercial considerations. Like, how much of an impact is it when you put in a forest fire ban or an ATV ban on commercial industry in the north?
Very tough to say. There's lots of different industries that would impact them differently, and depending on the size of the industry, it's obviously going to financially impact them. You know, at significantly different types of numbers. So I can't put a single answer to that, but I know it definitely impacts you know, those individuals quite significantly. So
Okay, thanks, Brian.
thank you.
All right. That will end our news conference for today. Thank you for everyone participating.